Okay, I'm Bagonza Nathan, by tribe. I want to really thank God so much for the far He has brought me. I'm an orphan who is a total orphan. I lost both of my parents when I was still young. I'm 24 years old by now. I was born in 1991 in a small village in Hoima district in Uganda. And I've lived a life that really has been not so much good because it has been full of struggles, ups and downs because of the loss of my parents at an early age. And I had even some other people and some of my relatives who really who made my life difficult. But as I talk, at least I want to thank God for what I am. A little bit about how I lived. My father died in 2001, and my mother died in 2004. We are 7 children from our father and mother. From 3 mothers. We are 3 from my mother, but both of our parents died. So we lived a life that was full of struggle. When the parents died, we were left in the village. We had some relatives who really took us so bad, and life was not really easy. But we managed. We had to struggle. You are seeing here, I was a real hunter because the village life was not all that promising, so I had to get involved in so many useless things. In the village, there are always things to do with hunting, things to do with burning charcoal. So being a real hunter, I hunted. We could hunt little animals like edible rats, if you've known about them. We hunted the squirrels, even those small animals for our dogs, and even to a great extent we could go for bigger animals like antelopes, the wild pigs, and more others with elder people. So that's the life I lived when I was still back in the village, and my academics was very, very poor in my primary school because I didn't have any hope. I didn't have anyone to encourage me. I didn't have anyone to tell me about the bright future of academics. So I was just there with people who were unlearned, and those are the kinds of things that we could do. I became a typical hunter, and I didn't know that really at one time I could be maybe somewhere better, but by the grace of God, I really that God is doing some work in me, and I know I'll be more better. After when my parents had died, I am the only boy among the 7 children from our father. So my elder sisters were taken away by our auntie. They lived with our aunties. At one point, it reached one point when I was left alone, having even these relatives that really harassed me so much, even from the time when our parents were still alive. So they really put my life, they made it so difficult that I hated myself. So I found difficulties even in getting what to really support me. I could burn charcoal for my living. I could do some casual digging for people. They pay me some little money when I was still in primary, trying to gather some little money to buy some books, to buy whatever could keep me around. But all in all, I managed to keep on trying. However much, the performance was very poor in primary. Just to cut the story short, when I was I spent 4 years in my primary 6. You cannot imagine it. And I spent 2 years in primary 1, 2 years in primary 2. So I took a total of 12 years in my primary education. So I had really to delay like that. But one time when I was in P6, when all my sisters were taken away and they were staying with my auntie, I happened to meet one of the reverends who was connected with some aides through the diocese, Hoima, who promised me that if I do well in primary 7, I might get some support for my secondary education, because they had gotten some support for my elder sisters. So when he met me and we shared a bit, he promised me that if I can do better, then he can maybe get a way of fixing me there. So that one gave me hope amidst the miserable life that I lived. So when I looked and saw how the life I was living with my uncles who were troubling me so much, and I was really struggling with life, that one gave me hope, and I had to struggle for my primary 7, and finally I had to do it a bit well. So when I finished my primary 7, my promise came to pass. I had to go for my secondary education. They sponsored me in a quite better secondary school. I did my O-level well, very well actually. When I joined secondary, I started doing better off, because I had really got relieved from the struggles, got relieved from the harassment from my uncles and the other village life. So I had to struggle, and what I had in mind, I didn't want really to disappoint my sponsors, those who really supported me in my secondary education. So I had to struggle hard. I had got a second grade in my primary education, so I struggled, and at the end of my secondary 4, I finished with a very good first grade with 23 aggregates. So they were very happy about me, and everyone was amazed. So from my secondary 1, I got a dream of becoming a medical doctor, and I worked really towards that. That at O level, at primary 4, secondary 4, I did well. So I had to go for my advanced level, that is senior 5 and senior 6, where also I did the sciences, that is the physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics, with my dream of becoming a medical doctor. So unfortunately, in the second term of my senior 6, my sponsorship ended. They told me the sponsorship has ended, and there I felt bad. But because of the way I was doing things at school they loved me, and therefore the school allowed me to continue and finish my advanced level. And so I had to finish my advanced level, of which I also did very well, and I qualified for that course that I loved so much, of becoming a medical doctor. However, now I had lost the hope because my sponsorship had ended. But from my advanced level, I had one of my teachers called Musinguzi Matthew, who loved me and liked me. So he told me that if I do well, he can take me and be with him as I do some teaching in my vacation. So when I finished my A-level and I had done well, actually before the results came, he took me, and where he took me at Rock Foundation Schools. So I started teaching at Rock Foundation Schools. I was teaching in the secondary section, teaching biology and chemistry. He loved me so much, but I was so much worried. I thought I had lost my dream of becoming a medical doctor, because I didn't have any hope of getting any more help. But during my life at Rock Foundation, I met with the director of Rock Foundation Schools, Madam Kyomhendo Christine. I met with one of the United sponsors, Uncle Mark, who loved me so much. So I felt at peace, I felt at home. I joined the Rock Foundation Ministries. So along the way, I shared with Madame Christine about my life, how I have lived, and she loved my life. She felt touched about my life experience, and she really said that she has really to look forward to see that I go and meet my dream. So I taught for the whole year at Rock Foundation, that is 2014, and actually as I talk now, Madam Kyomhendo Christine, together with Rock Foundation support, she entered into a struggle of making me really achieve my dream of becoming a medical doctor. And this year, 2015, I had to join a university, Kampala International University, where I started my course of being a medical doctor through the support of Rock Foundation, together with Kyomhendo Christine, the director of Rock Foundation Schools. So I'm glad about that, because I see that at least I see like I'm going to achieve my dream. However, still there are struggles, there are hurdles in meeting my tuition, because it really takes a lot for this course, but I know with God I will make it. So I really thank God for whatever He's doing in my life, for the life and the love I've found at Rock Foundation. I know even these gaps that they still meet in meeting my tuition, meeting whatever it takes for me to be at university. I know with God I will make it. However, I pray that really God opens more ways that He will help me meet all my needs, that keeps me at university, such that I meet my dream. I love so much being a medical doctor. I love so much treating people, and I'll be so grateful when I see God bringing me through and getting me out as a medical doctor, touching the lives of people, helping people who are really suffering. It will be my joy. It will be my joy. I thank you so much, people back in the US who have really done great work in helping and supporting children and students through Rock Foundation Ministries, Rock Foundation Schools. It is a really great work that you've done in really the little Ugandans who could really not imagine that it could be better. But I pray that really God blesses you so much as you continue to support more and more, such that children that are miserable can come to realize their potentials in their academic life as in this dynamic world. May God bless you so much. I love you people, because you are doing so much in people Uganda. Thank you so much. May God bless you so much. I remain Bagonza Nathan. That is my name. Thank you so much.